Okay, hello everyone. This is Nupur Hajela from California State University, Fresno. I'm here with Alex from Oregon State University, and we both are at ELC 2025 in Kansas City. And I'm just so honored and privileged to have you. And I just want our viewers to know that our topic of discussion today is integration of innovation and technology in DPT programs. And Alex, tell us about your journey.
Yeah. So thanks very much for having me. I'm so excited to talk about this topic and in particular this paper that was published in JOPD in 2024. So together with colleagues from both Ohio State University and College of St. Scholastica, we studied students' written reflections from international service learning using a large language model that allowed us to learn a little bit more specifically which values the students, which of the APTA values the students reflected upon from their international service learning experience. This was the second of two papers. In the first paper, we learned that students' reflections on their international service learning experience in Mexico did really reflect the APTA values, but we couldn't distill which ones based on, reliability between raters. So it was really a great opportunity to apply AI and get a little bit more deeper with regard to what the students actually were saying about their experience.
Yeah, so no, that's so interesting that what you're telling us because I also do service learning and I do reflections, but I have not, and I integrate technology, like I use immersive VR, I use telehealth, but I have not thought of using AI to actually kind of go back into those reflections and see, what are the learnings that we can get from those. So tell us, take us back in time as to how you thought and what were some of the students' responses that you got?
Yeah.
Like the aha moments.
Sure. So, I think we really understood that students would, in their writings about their work in Mexico, beside caregivers in Mexico, beside their new patients in Mexico, beside the interpreters and the faculty mentors that they're working with, we did think and we did realize that they were really going to be talking about the value of altruism, the value of compassion and caring, the value of professionalism to an extent. What we didn't really realize and what we learned from the AI analysis was that when students were reflecting on working in another culture, those reflections really were closest to the most of the APTA values.
Okay.
So what that says to me is that when students are in rich cultural experiences, they're really exercising their opportunity to develop our values.
No, that is very insightful, I feel. And, when I think about students, I feel that we also have this task of, bringing people in the pipeline and kind of seeing what the future workforce would look like. So before we can go forward, we have to go back a little bit. So, right. So in that capacity, can you walk the viewers into, if they are interested in something, implementing something like that, what are some of the steps that they can take? The step one and maybe a few steps further.
Sure. So I'd first think about identifying your most robust written assignment where you've asked students with a specific prompt or a general prompt to either reflect or answer. And then have a good body, perhaps a good body of those responses, perhaps across a number of cohorts or across a number of years of those responses. Then I would identify a partner who is doing using large language models for analyses such as semantic distance. And I'd ask to partner with them to ask them to step you through the process. For the process we used, I partnered with a colleague who is from the field of from health informatics,
Mhm.
and he used the software R.
Mhm.
And R has a number of codes that allow semantic distance analysis, um, and as well as cluster analysis to identify themes within. So I'd first find my large language set
Mhm.
that I had from a robust assignment, and then I'd look for a partner
Mhm.
that was doing some of these analysis.
Mhm.
Physical therapy researchers can learn to do these analyses and using R.
Uh-huh.
And there are also some freely available softwares that do them as well, that are perhaps less flexible and more automated. And I'd start to experiment and see what you reveal.
Well, that's very helpful to know.
Mhm.
I think the next question in my mind is, what next for you? Where are you going?
Mm-hmm.
You have this data. I believe you have published it. So where can we find this article?
Yeah, so our paper is called Beyond Borders Beneath Words,
Mhm.
using natural language processing to map student reflections on international service learning to physical therapy values.
Mhm.
So that was in JOPD and published in 2024.
Mhm.
You can look for that paper.
Mhm.
Um, in terms of where we're going next, I like to bring this analysis approach into some more typical classroom type assignments,
Mhm.
to dig a little bit deeper into the idea of student learning. I'm also really interested in how we can make a connection between reflections and learning.
Mhm.
If a student reflects in writing
Mhm.
on an experience, to what extent is that internalized? Some people use depth of reflection to talk about that. I'm pretty interested in that as well.
Oh, that is again very insightful. And for the viewers to know, both me and Alex, we are kind of fellows
Mhm.
in the higher education leadership
Mhm.
fellowship. And, I want to say how this tie into your leadership journey.
Oh, mhm.
I know that we are researchers, we are educators, but as a leader, where do you think, AI
Mhm.
can help us?
Mhm. So I, throughout my career, whether I was in a clinician role during my doctoral and postdoctoral studies, and now then as an academic faculty member, and now as a program director, I've always leaned into technology. I think there's a lot that we can learn and gain from it, and so I really, I really think this kind of comes together
Mhm.
in my with my leadership journey, in that as a leader, I really want us to embrace, understand, study, and employ technologies when they are effective, efficient, and allow us a deeper learning
Mhm.
than we had previously.
Mm.
And that's exactly what AI and this particular analysis did for us in this paper.
No, I think this is very valuable. And,
Mhm.
I really appreciate Alex kind of helping me with this segment. And as we are I'm the APTA Ally TechSec
Mhm.
Secretary, I want to kind of reach out to more leaders who can actually help us understand how to, use technology efficiently. I think that is what our motto is. I think my last question for you is, what's your philosophy? Because I know that, AI is a tool,
Mhm.
and as in with any tools, there are both positives and negatives. And obviously, we are people who are skeptics, we are people who are embracing it. How do you weigh in as we move along?
Yeah. So again, I think we have to lean in. I
Mhm.
think we have to lean in, try things, work and learn to understand, make errors if we must, safely, learn from those mistakes, and take every opportunity to use technology to advance our profession.
Mhm.
So I'm again saying, lean in, give things a try,
Mhm.
and try to improve your understanding.
Mhm.
They aren't and they won't go away,
Mhm.
because there are utility in many applications as tools.
Yeah.
And I want to be, for my students in particular, a model of someone who's not afraid
Yeah.
and who's willing to do the work, do the lift,
Mhm.
to understand the next thing that we might help us.
Yeah.
help our patients.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. And we are signing out from Kansas City.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.